Glow is back, and so is cheaper pop culture. I'm sure one of those two things has garnished more excitement than the other. Now, last time, when I reviewed Glow Season 1, I pointed out how the first season of Glow was just adding a larger story to a single episode of My Name is Earl, which was just adding a larger story behind a single feud in the original OG Glow. Whoa, meta. But what about this season? How does it stack up? Well, let's get ready to review, because it's time for the gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling Round Dose. Several things I would like to point out. First, I didn't mention this last time, but I really do like that Netflix is using the half-hour-long format as opposed to the hour-long format for Glow, which is the reason why I finished Glow long before I finished Luke Cage. Furthermore, I also like the season recaps that Netflix has been offering. Granted, I skipped it, but still, I like having the option. And I will admit that maybe if I watched the season recap, I might not have been so confused to the whole Bash Florian plot thread thing. I mean, who is Florian? I don't remember him at all. I did some light Googling for it, but after 3 minutes I gave up and decided to write this review instead. Probably why I'm talking about it so early in the episode. Fresh on the brain. Anyway, Season 2 of Glow starts right at the beginning of Season 2 of Glow. Okay, I realize that this is going to be really hard to discuss. Okay, so the Netflix series Glow is picking up right as the girls in the series are beginning production on the second season of their televised wrestling show, also called Glow. Woo! Alright, there you go. Again, meta. Okay, so this time around, the season-long thread in the background is about the struggle Glow has with their television network. The in-character television network, not Netflix. Netflix is great. And no, even though I have been praising them a lot, this is not a paid advertisement for Netflix. However, while I have your attention, Mr. Flix, just a pitch. Back to Glow. Last time I mentioned that Arthy's thread when it came to her feelings about her racist gimmick was a solid topic that I wanted to see explored further. And it was, for a bit until it was eventually dropped again. But it did get some resolution after all, but for Awesome Kong's character instead. But I do have to say, I have to applaud you, Awesome Kong, for your amazing acting abilities. But going back to Arthy, we never really got a resolution for her on this subject. Instead, we got a brand new arc that sees her entering a relationship with another woman. And in the 80s, well, if racial prejudice bothered you, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't gonna get any better for you. But the biggest takeaway for me for this season is that of Alison Brie's character, Ruth. Last time, I didn't feel sorry for her at all, and nor did I care. However, as despicable as her past actions might be, between the season break showing how driven she was and her interactions with other characters, Ruth really started growing on me. For example, just look at Sam, who also became redeemable himself this season through his arc with Justine. With Sam warming up to Ruth, it does make it more okay and more acceptable for us to like her and forgive her as well. Also, we got to see a totally new crappy side of Debbie. We saw just how illogically petty she could be, selling off almost all of her furniture for next to nothing in a drug-induced inventory sale. If you remember just how materialistic the 80s were, you would know just how crazy this was. And speaking of drug use of the 80s, Ronald Reagan's war on drugs got further kicked in the when we see that she forgot to pick up her baby due to being high. Which begs the question, what was in that joint? Because being forgetful is one thing, but being driven enough to clear out your entire house in just a few hours? Let's just say, motivation? Not a common side effect. Really makes you wonder if the writers of the show have any idea how weed and or yard sales work. And speaking of Debbie's poor choices made because of drugs, the biggest thing that done did it for me was the coke-fueled leg break. Oh, I meant cocaine, not... Cola Wars would have meant a totally different thing if that was the case. Anyway, the wrestling fan in me really looks down upon intentionally giving someone a major injury. But also, I totally get the fact that if another woman steals your man, sometimes you gotta snap an ankle. But another negative for Debbie was her being completely non-supportive for Ruth after her sexual harassment ordeal. This counts as another strike against Debs, but another reason to kinda like Ruth. And I have to say, the journey in this season was not an easy feat to pull off when I think about it. Season 1 Alison Brie somehow got me to not like her character, which I thought was impossible for little Annie Edison to do. And now I went from hating her character to kinda liking her. Fantastic job there, baby girl. Brie mode was definitely engaged. It's almost like magic. Like twin magic. Hey, wait a minute! Zoya has a twin! Does this mean that this season was a total ripoff of Total Bellas? I wouldn't know because I never watched that show and I never will. But anyway, a woman from Community who's funny, beautiful, and into wrestling, Alison Brie is clearly the best girl. Whoa, now there's a competition. Is it weird that I have a really specific thing here?
Just do you, whatever that is.
All right, thanks for the approval, Britta. Anyway, in conclusion, I really liked this season, and I actually liked it more than last year. It seemed like there was more wrestling in this season overall, and I really liked that episode that was a straight up episode of Glow within the episode of Glow. Oh crap, I did it again. I went meta. Alright, that does it for this episode. Join me next time when I review Season 2 of Glow on Netflix. Wait a minute, I just did that. Alright, just be here anyway?